At UFC Fight Night 229, Bobby Green got the upset and KO'd Grant Dawson. It took just 33 seconds, and King Bobby wants to keep the momentum going. As the number 10 ranked lightweight, Dawson was the favorite to beat the unranked Green, but Green landed a left hand early that dropped him. A quick swarm later, and suddenly, people were talking about the title. I'm in sniper range. Don't think I can't go get that title. I can go get the title, Green said during a post-fight news conference. I'm just a fun kid who's like, hey, I'm just happy-go-lucky. I'm here, I'm there. For now, Islam Makhachev and the belt are well out of reach of someone who has only just broken into the top 15. But there's top 10 fighters who he could go after. The most interesting matchup for the dynamic striker could be New Zealand's Dan Hooker. The Kiwi is a dynamic striker himself and renowned for withstanding the flashiest of strikes. They want me to fight Hooker. I'm like, okay, if Hooker's down, I'm down, Green said. I'm down to even headline the prelims. Obviously, Bobby Green took home a performance bonus. The other three went to Joe Pyfer for his submission, Drew Dober for setting the record for most knockouts in the lightweight division, and Nate Maness for ignoring grappling altogether. In other UFC news, Dana White has made some announcements. First, the UFC president says that former dual division champion Conor McGregor's return has taken a significant step forward. The Irish superstar recently submitted his paperwork to re-enter the USADA drug testing pool, which seems to be the major hurdle he's been unable to cross. But White is cautious. He is not officially in the USADA pool. He submitted the paperwork. Probably by Monday, he'll be submitted, White told reporters. Again, don't hold me to that, but the paperwork is submitted next week sometime. Okay, Dana. And second, White lifted the ban on fighters bringing flags to the octagon. In response to the Russian invasion of Ukraine, the UFC stopped fighters from displaying flags during live broadcasts. But their recent Noche UFC event in Mexico made White rethink the policy. I was on vacation during the Mexican Independence Day, and the no flag thing drove me crazy. So I was like, yeah, that. We're bringing flags back. Unfortunately, that includes Russia, who are still invading Ukraine. In other MMA news, former UFC star Nate Diaz wants to take on his most recent opponent, Jake Paul, in the cage. But he wants a boxing rematch first to give Paul time to train. After leaving the UFC, Diaz fought Paul in Diaz's first boxing match and lost by unanimous decision. It was closer than expected, though, and a rematch in the PFL cage instead of the ring looked to be on the cards. Paul has since claimed that that hasn't happened because Diaz is asking for too much money. Diaz disagrees. You're full of shit. I didn't ask for shit. I'll fight you tomorrow in MMA, Diaz mashed on Twitter. The problem is you suck, and I don't work for PFL, dumbass. You do. Rematches in boxing, trilogy is in MMA. You need time to train anyway. You suck. New Year's Eve is good. And at Bellator 300, Usman Nurmagomedov defended the lightweight belt with a near-flawless 5-round performance against Brent Primus. Cyborg did what Cyborg does against Kat Zingano to retain the featherweight title. And Liz Carmouche stopped Ilima-Lei McFarlane with leg kicks to keep the flyweight title. Thanks for watching. And remember, if you want more fight sports in your life, just hit the subscribe button.